Hey YouTube, I'm Brick Smith, and welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin, the artist Hinkle. By the way, folks, just check the internet and you'll see stuff he's done.
Hey, I'm on the internet.
Hey, Kevin, nice to have you on the internet.
How's it going? Welcome back to Forever Sorting once again. Special quarantine edition, week 5, 6. We're still there. Don't worry, everybody. We are right along with you, experiencing whatever the new thing is, the new normal.
Yeah. So in 50 years, when we look back on this and you're like, "Oh, that was ground zero," or that was patient 1, we're here right now, folks.
Yeah. I was watching an interview, or I was listening to an interview I was working earlier today, and in it, the person said that, global, like, moments like this that impact the world, which have happened, it's not like it's never happened, tends to bring about, and he used the word revolutionary change. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's a pretty powerful word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can see that because, you start really examining everything that's going on across the spectrum in all the different walks of life and in all the different countries. And you're like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going down right now. And things are getting stressed to the max, pushed to the limit. And it's just like, yeah, revolutionary change, I think, is on the cusp. And it is going to be, this is one of those things where, like, are we going to be in rocking chairs and be like, oh, well, you see, when your grandfather was a young man, we had the great COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it going to happen? I think it's going to happen.
I feel like yeah, because, like, all right, some of us, most of the people that watch the show lived through 9/11.
Yep.
Okay, and you were old enough to know the gravity of the situation. And I recall you walked out the door the next day, and we were all Americans.
Yeah.
And that was back in a time where nobody really cared about anybody else. And
sure.
You know what I'm saying? It was definitely not a nation community, is where this might become the world community now.
Yeah. And then the cracking open of a can. So yeah, it's just something that, here we are again. We're here together. Thank you guys, as always, for listening to the show, even though, there's a lot of stuff going on. I guess maybe it's easier for you to listen when there's a lot of stuff going on.
I've heard that there is, like, it's like, oh, you guys, thank God something's not changed.
You're right. We're still here. We're still talking. Don't worry. I still have story to tell, and questions.
If he doesn't, I will.
And questions to answer. So that being said, I've got our last video up from last week, and I'm going to run through the comments real quick.
Holy crap, that's a record, folks. 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Hey, and if you're listening to this like times 1.25 or 1.5, or dare I say 2 times the speed, I'm going to be talking like a chipmunk, first of all. All right.
There is somebody that has admitted to doing that as well. They watch all the videos at double speed.
Yeah.
That way they can watch all of them.
Yeah. I also, like, when I go back and listen to streams, like, for example, when Doc streams overnight.
Oh, yeah.
It is very rare I'm going to be just hopping at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's usually a next day. And I'll listen to his, I think, at 1.25 or 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
2, like, messes with me. Like, I can't, like, I don't know. 2 is too fast. I can't pick up what's going on. But, all right, so let's get it up.
That's what she said. You did it.
I knew you were
going to for you, Nick.
I knew you
watch this, because Nick doesn't watch this.
Our first comment on our last video actually comes from Doc Sampson himself.
Oh, look at that. Speak of the devil.
And Doc says, you might need a separate show just for the comments.
Doc is over it, by the way.
Blockhead UK.
Hey, Cass.
Says, thanks for the shout out from my Sig Fig Habitat guys. Glad you enjoyed them. Regarding the LCPs, a friend from my lug went for an interview for the vacant UK LCP position a while back. He didn't get it, but was actually a bit relieved, as he said there was a lot of potential restrictions as to what LEGO would let you make. So Kevin's comments here do not surprise me one bit.
Look here, folks. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to build exactly what the hell I want to build. And nobody's going to tell me what I can or cannot build. By the way, I'm told this is not tall enough, by the way.
Well, and you know, sorry.
What?
To your point.
Hello?
To your point, you're going to build whatever you want to build because it's your property.
That's it.
You bought it. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the argument that if you are receiving bulk, deeply discounted brick directly from the company, that there should be a say in what you can or cannot do with it. But then again, you are still paying for it.
Yeah.
You're paying for, regardless if the company discounted it or not. Yeah. You bought it.
Yep.
However, again, another wrinkle is you are under a contract. You are under a signed contract with the company.
Yeah.
But
that's the catch. I will never be under contract with the company as it stands.
Yeah. And so the thing that I kind of would always fall back to is if you being the company in this standpoint, being the Lego Group, if you have so many restrictions as to what the people in this program can do aside from just do what you want them to do when you want them to do it, why do you even have the program?
They have the program because they want the facade of community.
Our next comment, Dude 20, and Dude says, cliffhanger, I can't remember what happened yesterday. Good one, guys. Keep up the good work.
Keep drinking that Tang, dude. Keep drinking that Tang.
Brick Blaze says, I saw the art of the brick in Kansas City a couple years ago. I was very impressed with the builds. I kept wondering to myself how much it must have cost him. Several months later, Kevin revealed to me on Forever Sorting that Nathan was a Lego certified professional, and I had my answer. Yes. And I will say, regarding the art of the brick exhibit, if you do get the opportunity, if it's anywhere near you, I do recommend you see it. I feel like I go back and forth on this. I feel like either they don't do a good job marketing what you're going to see, or they're doing it on purpose and it's brilliant. I don't know. I don't know which it is, but like I got to see Art of the Brick when it was in Philadelphia at the Franklin Institute.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And it was really, really awesome. But I didn't expect to see I can't. Is it good? Is it okay?
We're gonna make it through.
Okay.
I like the fact that you're like, how did he know?
Yeah, I didn't even. I didn't.
You're okay right now.
Good. So I was ill prepared. I was ill prepared for what I experienced as a viewer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, I thought like Nathan did the big yellow sculpture of the guy pulling his chest apart and bricks came out. And then a bunch of other monochromatic sculptures of human bodies doing things, like a woman swimming in blue, a guy with a yellow pyramid head, like standing with his arms crossed. Because I feel like that's all the marketing images. That's it.
Yeah, and then, I will say that I will say that Blaze took some pictures and tagged me in some, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he did stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like a whole new. I was like, where did all this come from? So, like I said, I don't know whether that's bad marketing or brilliant marketing, because it's like you're not giving away all the secrets, but it's just like I feel like I want to side more on they should be brave enough to show a little bit more, and that it is better, I think, to see it in person than online. But it's just like from all the marketing, it's monochromatic figures. Like that's all.
Look at this. I don't know which video this was. I assume it was the short sort, but dude, you just
commented. Good job.
Just now.
Good job, dude. Hey, dude, Jude, good job to you.
Yeah, man. That is a supportive A-fall.
Our next comment is from Brixar.
Who?
Brixar says, take out the buggy lady next time.
Oh, he wanted me to run her over. Okay. Oh, look.
Yeah, just run her.
Look, you're getting a little digital.
Sorry.
You're all right.
Hopefully it's not unbearable.
No, it's barely there.
Okay. Stud Sidious says Bricksmith wants to activate retired vet Voltron to patrol and keep the streets safe. Interesting concept. Hashtag America. F yeah. Love the emoticons you illustrated, Kevin. Really dig the style. Thank you. I can relate to how you want to change your other social pages to the latest art. Great stuff. You capture the emotion, all of them perfectly.
Good deal.
Our next comment is Alex McBrick. Sorry about that rant last time. That's like my inner American came through a bit too much. You guys are totally right. I 100% agree that Ryan's vocal fan base are much younger. It just kind of sucks that people assume you're 6 years old because you like his stuff. Now, onto a completely different topic. I watched the Brickumentary the other day. Ooh. I saw Torment on there and started getting angry. That's what happens when I see him. You don't have to get angry.
I keep digging him off my friends list on Facebook. I'm like, yeah. You might know. I'm like, go away, Torment.
Get out of here. Go. It's like you pull out the broom. Get
off my porch.
you being an employee who got burned by Lego, how do you see or feel about that documentary? Do you like the whole thing? Do you think the whole thing is just BS? Or maybe you really like it? I'd like to hear what you think of it at this point in your life. Sorry my comments keep getting so dang long.
No, that's fine.
I have so much to say.
We talked about the Brickumentary on one of the episodes.
I think so. Yeah. No, we did.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, Alex, send me your address. I got a little something. As soon as this whatever this is lifts, I'll send something to you.
So the first part of the comment I want to hit upon is we were talking about Ryan from M&R Productions fan base. And so Ryan has actually been listening to the episodes, which is awesome. So thank you, Ryan, for listening. And he actually reached out to me a couple of days ago and said, hey, I just listened to your most recent podcast, and I wanted to share some information about my audience with you because there is this misconception.
Oh.
And I was like, cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have access to all the information.
I don't know. See, okay. Here's what I know. I'm going off of a loosely based rumor through the local community that his fan base is very young collectively.
Yeah, and I
have not ever looked at any numbers.
Right, and that's exactly where I'm coming from too. And so, he reached out and he said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I did a survey. So he did a survey on his channel through his community tab back when the whole when COPPA was coming around.
Yeah.
And he asked his viewers, those that were comfortable, to just say, hey, can you let me know what's your age? It was a little simple. So it was just like, are you under the age of 13? Or are you over the age of 13?
Yeah.
Because for the purpose, that's all that really matters.
Sure enough.
And with that, he shared the snapshot of it. And 90% of the people that took it said they were over the age of 13.
Now, that is subjective.
I mean, you could always lie, but
that's and if I'm a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old, and my favorite YouTuber asked me how old I am, and I know there's some stink in the air. I am smart enough. At 10 years old, I was smart enough to say, no, I'm like 25.
It's funny because I'm just thinking about like websites when I was a teenager that I was like, yeah, I'm over 18. So I'm just thinking. But yeah, I do appreciate.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate the info.
Yeah, and I did. I asked him. I said, do you have any thoughts as to where kind of where does the collective assumption come from? And he's like, well, so his thoughts were that he has joked about it before. And I was like, okay, because that kind of, I think, clarifies my statement where I'm like, well, he's admitted it on stream. And it's
that puts a level of truth to a rumor.
Right. And he said, it's a joke. It's not meant to be serious. I'm playing off of other people's assumptions.
Sure.
And then apparently there's been other people in the community that have kind of used that as a way to discredit efforts. Like, well, your fan base is only kiddos, so it doesn't matter. And I told him, and I say to all you guys watching it, that I don't think it necessarily matters who your audience is. If you make stuff that people actually like, you should be proud that they like it. and that they enjoy it, they comment on it, and they're willing to discuss it. There's nothing wrong with that, and you shouldn't be ashamed by it. But
I don't think there's any shame in his game as far as that's concerned. I'm just, yeah.
So, but thank you for the original comment, Alex.
Absolutely.
And then thanks to Ryan for listening and for sending that over.
Right on.
As to the second part of that about the brickumentary, and I would expand that question even a little wider to how do you feel about Lego in general? I mean, the big brickumentary, I don't mind it. Yeah, I know a lot of it was staged, and just like anything else with Hollywood, liberties were taken, and I was there to see the liberties be taken. But it doesn't bother me. I think I'm more proud that there is a thing that exists that I helped with to bring attention to the adult Lego film community than I am angry about it. Mm-hmm. When I see people like Tormid still talking and interviewing and stuff, because they do, people that I've worked with at Lego and other areas that are, for lack of better phrasing, a little bit full of BS. I sit there and I watch them, I'll roll my eyes. I'll be like, all right, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. But, it is what it is. It doesn't cause me extreme anger. I am still, I don't know what's the right term. I'm not angry. I guess that it's like the wound is a scar. It's not open.
Now, when we started this show, this podcast, if you will, I hate the fact that we call it a podcast because I said I'm never going to do a podcast.
Right. And here we are.
I guess. I mean, but I'm looking at you, so I think it's got to be different. Is there a name for this? Besides podcast?
I don't know. Besides
podcast is an audio.
I don't know.
An audio thing. Anyway, I think when we started though, it was a wound.
Oh yeah. That was 2 years ago.
Half of Kevin was cut wide open.
That was 2 years ago.
It was a while.
And as we've said before on this program, I wasn't exactly clamoring to go to the internet and tell my life story. This was very much pulled out of me by Mr. Julian. I was like, I can. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was somewhat hesitant to the idea. For whatever reason, I don't know. But
it was a wound.
Yeah, and so as we are, as I am right now, I still think the company at its core is a good company. I do believe they are quite misguided right now.
Oh, sure.
I think they are quite misguided. I think they have made a number of changes in the last couple of years, and I believe that the people at the top and the people that really got it and have that Lego DNA and the culture have been stretched very few and far between. And they're now there's so many new folks, and there's nothing wrong with new, but there's no transfer of knowledge. There's no handing over of culture and traditions and stuff in the company. I can see it. I can tell. And so I think that is causing an enormous amount of misguided missteps and mistakes that are being made.
I'm with you on that completely. That goes with any company with more than two people in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't think it's necessarily doomed, but I also don't think it's in a super great place now. And quite frankly, not my job to figure it out. So they can figure it out.
Okay, so I am going to weigh on this. Sorry, Kevin, we're going to drag it a little bit long, but I got an opinion on this one.
Yeah.
I feel like whatever happened, I know you remember this. We've discussed it where Lego almost went bankrupt. And then the overproduction of specialty parts, giving everybody what they want. I'm not talking about the battle pack. Giving everybody what they want, in general, they're feeding. Oh, but I want Lego for girls, so they made mini dolls. Oh, I want this. I want this. I want this mold. I want that mold. All right. Have you seen a troll? Have you seen a troll? Have you seen the troll?
Yeah.
It's not Lego.
No.
It's troll.
Right. There may be other things at play. I've seen fan comments online where it's like, well, Lego might be pandering to whatever's the company that owns this because they want to explore further. And yeah, that's all real. They do that kind of stuff in negotiations and kind of scratch our back, we'll scratch your back. Maybe we can dive into your portfolio of things if we do this thing for you. Yeah, maybe. That might be.
It's not going to be the death of Lego, but they're going to have to recoil and start anew.
Right. And to the point about
the bubble's going to pop. Go ahead.
The point about like expanding molds, colors, and all. I mean, that's all very true. When you sit there and you're like, oh, but Lego's making far too many specialty pieces. They are. And they're making far too many colors. They are. I mean, the difference between now and back then is money. I mean, the thing is they were doing all of that, whereas also losing money. And now they're doing all that and still making record profit.
You'll see.
So, for now.
The bubble will pop.
They had that. They had a year of 2% decline in profit. And then they had the year of flatline, and then they were back up to plus again. Yeah. Thankfully, because those 2,000 employees, the dead weight were cut. But it's that's just where it is right now. So I'm going to finish these comments before we go.
Are we? I don't think we are. I think it's going to be a whole comment show.
No, the next comment is from Intalk. Intalk says, waiting for next Saturday. I got 2 colors sorted for my Black Friday buys. Need more sorting entertainment equals forever sorting. Yes. Ninja with a Brick says, woo, Brick Blaze. Sorry, Julian and Kevin, but Blaze got my Prime sub. AWO. So I've thought of a question. What started the Speed Champions line? Since Lego was making their own car builds already, and most car enthusiasts look for more realistic models, I feel like it's kind of a fan theme. But it did start bringing me out of my dark age, so I guess it worked. Hashtag F Corona, it's Miller time. So yes, Lego has spent many years with their own racing line. There was World Racers, there was just Racers, and they kind of never really performed well. They're just there. Race cars are super critical to like the Lego system of play. You put wheels on a car. You put wheels, not even a car. You take a plate and you put wheels on it. That's what kids do all day, every day, no matter what. Cars and vehicles, things with wheels are very important. But racing sets just weren't really performing well. They were getting discounted all the time and having to get them marked down. And what have I said before? Lego does not like discounting things. So there was an effort being made to try to introduce licensing to really kind of energize race cars. To Ninja's thought on trying to appeal to fans, trying to appeal to not AFOLs. Remember, it's never about making something for AFOLs. It's about how do we appeal to car enthusiasts that won't necessarily buy Lego, haven't thought about buying Lego, but maybe because they like that brand of car so much, they might do it. And they're right. They're usually right. It's people that are enthusiasts of another brand who would be adult fans, adult collectors, adult hobbyists, adult whatever, but they're not AFOLs. They're not adult fans of Lego. They are adult fans of whatever, Harley Davidson.
That's the same reason that architecture came out.
Yeah, it's to pull in a new segment. That's it. And so there was this this injection of licensing into racers, and I think it worked. It finally was like successful. It's like people wanted cars, and I'm not talking about like the nice big car models like from Creator Expert, like just cars, because they were real. And I don't have sales data. Obviously, I have no access to that anymore. But I would dare to reckon the vehicles you see like in Creator and stuff probably don't perform as well as like Speed Champions.
You talking about like that big huge Mustang?
Huh?
You talking like that big huge Mustang?
No, like kind of like the small like $20 like a red race car and Creator.
Oh, sure. I got you.
Generic
3-in-1, the 3-in-1 Creator.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I got you.
So it's a great question. Thank you for that, Ninja. And our last comment is from Straw Bricks. Strawbrick says, thanks for another fun episode. Love the Twitch emotes, and I think they would look very cool as stickers too. Thanks for the explanation on the LEGO Certified Professionals designation. Question. You mentioned in one of the earlier episodes that when you were the community manager, you also had to handle the LCPs. That is correct. What did you have to do for them? How was this different than what you did for the lugs? That's a great question. So yeah, I had to do LCP management for my geographic area of responsibility. So that would have been North America. As I mentioned last time, there were no LCPs south of the U.S. border. Okay. So, Latin America, South America, Mexico, no LCPs there. I did fight, though, for about a year and a half because I thought there was an extremely, extremely strong business case to install an LCP in Brazil. A huge business case. And that was because the LEGO marketing office in Brazil had so much of a need to build things. Remember, guys, Brazil is a large country. Look at a map. It is.
Also, at one point, didn't Brazil own the world's record for the tallest tower of LEGO?
Peek behind the curtain. Peek behind the curtain. That's all just it's marketing nonsense. There is an event. It's traveled around year after year after year, where they make a giant tower out of colorful Lego bricks, and they say, "Whoa, world's largest tower, Guinness Book World Records." And then the next month, they put it in another country. They add one more brick. Whoa, Guinness! But it's marketing. It's not real. But yes, Chile did have the world's largest Lego tower.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's one of those things where the world's largest tower and then what's the other one? Like world's largest collection of Lego are these things that are just like marketing gimmicks and just like we need a story right now or we need an event that can get some press. Like let's add another 2x4 to the tower and put it in. Let's put it in Japan now. It's like sure. So Brazil, being a gigantic country and really trying to like establish the Lego brand in that country, the office there had a tremendous need for builders. And so when they first opened, I actually helped connect them with Lug Brazil to help them build like all of the next Lego sets coming out for the next year because they had a product showroom. So they had a showroom where they need to put the whole year's portfolio of Lego sets so they can show them to customers. Customers meaning the account manager for Target or Toys R Us or Walmart or mom and pop stores or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so they were using the lug a lot, which is great. And then they started using the lug too much, which is bad. There's a very fine balance of when you're like, hey, would you guys be interested in checking out our office and having lunch with us and building some Lego sets so that we can put it in the thing versus here's 500 Lego sets. Please have them built by next Wednesday. By the way, you're getting no payment or compensation. Like it's a dance, right? Yeah. And I'm like, wow, they really need help. And then they started having these really unique opportunities. Like, well, we'd like to have a big Lego built sculpture of this company's mascot because there's a good marketing reason for it. The model shop in Infield, that's going to charge us like $7,000 to ship it. It'd be really great if we could use the lug. Like they were trying to use the lugs, it was one lug, all the time. And I'm like, I have never seen a stronger case for an LCP ever. You just need to get an LCP. And I put together a really nice business case. And I was told, no, Kevin, we don't need an LCP in Brazil from my Danish leadership. And I'm like, okay, well, the American who's telling you that the Brazilians need an LCP, you might want to listen to us. You are on the other side of the planet. Yeah. To you, it's going to be like, no, we don't need that. I sat there, to help set the scene. This is another one of those, Kevin just trying to do what he thinks is right for the company and the brand, just scratching his head going, you don't see the value in putting one LCP in the entire country of Brazil where there are none in the whole continent of South America, yet we have one in Belgium and Denmark and Germany and UK. It's like, you guys, the European Union is smaller than the United States of America. And you've got like 10 LCPs. I want to put one on the Southern Hemisphere. And you're saying, no, I give up. So, to Keith's question, when I was in charge of the LCPs in North America, that would have been the 5 in the United States. So Dan Parker, Nathan Sawaya, Sean Kinney, Beth Wise, and Adam Tucker. And the 1 in Canada, which is Robin Sather. I didn't really have to do a lot.
Yeah.
Most of the time, being in charge of them meant if they did something that got a lot of PR attention, whether good or bad, I would have to explain them. So like it'd be kind of like, you're babysitting, and it's like, why did your kids mess up this table setting that we put for dinner? So like I would get called into a meeting if somebody did a project that maybe was interesting, and they would want to know, well, why did he do that? I'm like, I don't know why he did it. It's like, you got to ask him. Yeah, but aren't you in charge of the program? Like, I guess I am. But I was just regionally in charge of those guys. So I had very little contact with them. We did talk. Mm-hmm. They would ask me questions. Some of them were more worthwhile than others. A lot of them, I would say for them, I mean, Nathan never really talked to me. Nathan would share his numbers because the LCPs were, and I assume still are, required to funnel in their metrics into the company. Mm-hmm. So when Nathan does do an Art of the Brick exhibit, all those human bodies that are coming in and seeing his exhibit are being exposed to the Lego brand, and the Lego brand wants credit for that.
Sure.
And so that they want those numbers and those metrics. So Nathan, my only real communication with him would be him funneling in his quarterly numbers for me. He'd be like, here you go. Here are all the things that I did. Just so you know, I showed off my exhibits or whatever. And so in comparison to the lugs, I would have 75 to 150 Lego user groups for the continent, all hosting shows almost every single weekend.
Sure.
And they're funneling that data to me too, because I need it. And so I'm asking for it. And kind of the trade-off was, give me numbers and I give you free stuff. Nah. And so they would be funneling in, okay, Kevin, this year we have hosted combined 375 public-facing events across the entire continent. And we've exposed the Lego brand to 2.3 million public visitors. And I'm like, wow. And then Nathan would be like, here's my stuff for the quarter. I had 17 shows, 3 countries, and 2.6 million people watched it. I'd be like, man. So like in terms of like how they compare, Nathan is sitting there just drop kicking the lug numbers. I'm like, that's insane. But he's also, this headlining artist who's got these exhibits that are all over the world. Nathan is one of the most globe-trotting LCPs there is. So, Robin stays in Canada. That's why most of you guys don't know who Robin is. Ryan stays in Australia. The only reason you guys know who Ryan is because of Lego Masters Australia. The other folks you don't really know who they are. Everyone in the world knows who Nathan Sawaya is because Nathan has exhibits in other countries as well as the United States. And that's caused issues before where you have LCPs like the UK going, hold on, I'm the LCP for UK. Why is this American LCP having an exhibit here? That's a whole nother thing that I tried desperately to stay out of because I'm like, I don't need it.
I feel like if you've got it, do it.
Yeah, it's.
And I got Nathan's back on this one against the UK guy, whoever that is. If Nathan's got the swag and the conies and the building ability to show it off in another country, well, Lego will support that.
And you guys listening, if you're imagining like 2 grown men getting mad because one is in the other person's turf, and they want Big Brother Lego to make a decision on who's right, who's wrong. Yep, that's exactly how it is. That's like, yes. That is exactly how that conversation would play out. I had to organize one summit, and we talked about that before on the show. That was the LCP summit in Infield, and I had to organize it. And that was okay. That was also that time I told you that I'm like, Tormund, I'm dying as your employee. Would you please help me? And he's like, yeah, get over it. I'm like, all right. So that was like a sad moment.
Thank you, Torben.
But I mean, other than that, it wasn't a lot of work to manage the LCP program. Eventually, we handed that off fully to the marketing office in the country. So the U.S. marketing office would designate one person, whoever that's going to be the contact for the LCPs. Okay. So that would even though the program was and still is owned by the community department, the relationship was owned by a marketing office. Does it sound confusing? It is. So somebody in the United States would be responsible for Nathan and Sean and Adam, and someone in Lego Canada in Toronto would be responsible for working with Robin. So I didn't have to do a lot. I was just mostly funneling their numbers into the databases, explaining to my colleagues when they did something that they thought was interesting or perhaps wrong, and then listening to their questions every now and then. There was really only one LCP. I will not say his name. It's a him though, so you know it's not Beth. There was one LCP in the United States who I would hear from him probably every 2 weeks, and I'm like, dude, you're killing me. and it was always usually questions that would make me slightly uncomfortable, like asking for things that are not really in the realm of things that you would get.
Nice. A little, like what?
Like slightly on the side of like being entitled, like, hey, I noticed, that you're giving away a new gift with purchase next month. Like I would like, I'm going to give you my address because I'd like 2 cases of those shipped to me, and be like, well, I don't know where, like, how did we arrive to this point in the conversation? Like, that is not how that works.
So it was.
So moving on.
If you guys know who it was, put your comments down below.
Making your bets. Someone will be like, it was Beth. No, it's not Beth. So yeah, that's that. That's all of our comments. Thank you guys and thank you for the questions that we got in there too. It was really awesome.
Those questions were great.
They were good. I mean, we got some good tangents.
Are they tangents? I mean, I feel like they were
educational tangents.
Yeah, education. Yeah,
educational tangents. So I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this last time, and then we went on for too long. And I know some of you guys are like, we want more content, make them longer. But it's like, nah, it's not gonna happen. We record at night.
We're squeezing out what we can for you guys with what's going on in our schedule and our personal lives.
I mean, you can see the dark behind Julian's window. You can see the darkness outside. It's usually at night. We're tired. The day's done. You know how it is.
9:49 p.m. right now, and I go to bed at 10.
Yeah, I'm usually, if I'm not being dumb and work until 2 a.m, like I did last night, I go to bed at like 10:30. So as I was telling you guys, the Lego business decided we're going to do this thing called demand shaping, and we're going to shape our demand down. And the result of that, the direct result of that, was the Lego company ended the year with a 2% decline in profit, and they decided the sky was falling. So something that I started doing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Something that I had started doing, which we talked about this in our Bricks in the Middle episode, but when I had finally fully handed off community manager responsibilities to Paul, and I was now totally behind the scenes. I was in the Lego machine, not interacting with fans, not interacting with lugs, not interacting with con owners. I was doing the good work on behalf of the community behind the curtain. Right. Is when I really I felt good. Like I was kind of like I felt beaten up, but I didn't feel I felt good about where I was at. And so one of the things that I really wanted to get into,
beaten not broken
is perfect. One of the things I wanted to get back into was I wanted to get back into drawing. I had been so stressed and I worked so much that I was either drawing not at all or just doodling into pads when I was like on a conference call. And I'm like, this is unacceptable to me. And so I decided that I really wanted to explore this concept of bricks in the middle which we talked about. Okay, we talked about in the Bricks in the Middle episode. So I decided to go all in with it. I decided to do, and I'm not going to rehash the whole how did this comic come about, because we already talked about it. But so it's an important part. I mean, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. It's important, and so I started working on that comic with Matthew, and it was like therapeutic. Like, I had stepped away from the community, I had stepped away from the public eye, and I was trying to get back into, a mental release for me, which is working on art and drawing and illustrating and doodling and sketching. But then also kind of like talking about my time of what I did. And I just felt good about it. And so, like, yeah, I'm going to make a comic about fans and this goofy fan community we have. And I think it's a good time to do it. And so I started working on it, started making the comics, started launching it, teasing it, all that kind of stuff. And my first fan event that I went to after being a community manager was Brick Fair, New England. I guess it would have been 2016. No, 2017. This is at that point where dates are all getting all kind of scrambled, but it's at the end. And I even did a talk about my comic series. I did a pan. I was there for fun. I was not there as a Lego employee. I had nothing on me that had Lego logo on it. It was my own money. I bought my own registration. I booked my own panel, paid for my own hotel, lodging, and all that. Granted, this is New England, so I wasn't driving all the way to Chicago or DC. But I did this panel about making this comic, and I brought swag. I had swag to give away. So we had minifigs to give away, stickers to give away, because I was really excited. And I guess the community at large, was not necessarily ready to let go of me as their community manager. I guess maybe that's the right way to say it. So like I had kind of like mentally stepped back. I was like, I'm severed. We're good. You got a guy. Talk to this guy. He's going to help you out. I'm going to do my own thing now. All right. And so I was there talking about it, giving out the swag. And again, there's a reason to all this stuff. And so,
go on. I've been listening
the whole time without hesitation. So I kept that going, and actually, I guess it had to have been 2017.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the end here, folks.
Yeah, no, it had to be 2017. So, and then in 2017 at Brick World Chicago, I ended up going. I hadn't planned on going. Never planned on going. And my boss is like, "Oh, you should go there and do a market run." A market run is when you go to an area and hit up all the retailers that are selling your product and seeing how things are doing, talk to the manager, and just whatever. So she was very persistent that I go to Brick World Chicago and do a market run with all the Lego stores, Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, and whatever's a mom and pop store that's around.
There's and that up there in Schaumburg, Chicago area, there's quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah. And so while I was there, I had not planned to go like that. I mean, I booked my travel, I think, I don't know, a week before. Mm-hmm. I had not planned to go. She was incredibly insistent that I go. I thought it was really bizarre because here I am trying to distance myself more and more from that. And she's like, "You're going to go." Paul was going to go. He was going to be the community guy.
Absolutely.
And so I was coordinating with Matthew to promote the comic at Brick World because why wouldn't you? That's like, you have a comic, I have a partner.
Real quick, was he working with them? Or was he on his own by then?
He was on his own. So
sorry.
No, it's fine. And so Matthew was going around the show and he was giving out like 1x8 printed bricks and minifigs, and the whole swag thing. Like, hey, I'm launching this comic. Kevin's the illustrator. I'm doing all the technology stuff, and I'm building the site and all this other thing. Here's some free swag. Hope you'll check it out. And I'm sitting there going, okay. And I remember talking to Matthew. Again, there's a reason I'm bringing all this stuff up.
Is there, Kevin?
There is. I remember talking to Matthew going, all right, Matthew, this is going to be a little weird because I know we've been talking for the last couple of weeks about Brick World, and this is all from a personal standpoint. This is not community manager Kevin and AFL Matthew. This is Kevin and Matthew as friends outside of work. I'm like, you're going to promote this comic, and it was all cool. Now it's kind of weird because I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be there working, and so it's a little odd. Because despite what you may believe, I do consider myself to have high integrity.
And even if you don't believe that Kevin has a higher integrity, when it comes to his working ethic, ethically, he works to a high standard of professionalism, moreover, than anything else.
I try.
I think everything, folks, he has gone to length personally conversating to me about things that he has done and hasn't done and things that are hinky. And even at this point, he won't even give you guys the full unedited version because of his high standard of professionalism. So remember this as the story continues. This is the watered down version that can be aired. And think about that and how bad the Lego group treated.
I am always willing to talk in person as long as don't secretly record me. Don't violate my trust.
There you go.
But yeah, so we were there and we did not abort the mission. There's other stuff I want to talk about. I'm skipping a little bit. But so Matthew was there promoting the comic. I was at Brickworld Chicago in 2017 for I was physically in Chicago for 36 hours. That is how long I was there. I flew out on a Friday, did the whole market run on Saturday, left Sunday morning. So I was not there for Brick World. I was there for a market run in the Schaumburg area in relation to Brick World. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know why it was so important that I go. I kind of feel like my new boss, right? Because I told you guys I got switched to a new team. My new boss thought maybe I would miss the shows. And so part of me thinks maybe she was like, well, go and have fun. Just you feel like you're kind of slowly transitioning out. And I'm like, I don't need that. So like, whatever. So we did that show. I went, did the market run. I was at Brick World, I think maybe 4 hours total. Mm-hmm. The rest of the time I was out visiting stores, and that was interesting. I learned a lot of things. I took a lot of pictures. It wasn't like a worthless trip, but sure. I was just like, I don't know if I would have planned this, especially that last minute. Mm-hmm. But what's important to know, what's very important about the whole reason I brought any of this up is I got back, and unbeknownst to me, we'll continue later. Unbeknownst to me, one of the participants, one of the AFLs, the displayers, the exhibitors, the participants.
One of your friends.
One of my peers, one of my stakeholders, right? That I had just spent literally 5 years getting pummeled over, trying to go to bat for.
Yeah.
Had a huge problem with the fact that me on my own time at home, on my own volition, have decided to create something, anything that has something to do with them. So that meaning somebody had a huge problem with the fact that Kevin Hinkle has decided to start a comic book about Lego fans. So unbeknownst to me, I don't know. I'm doing my job. Yeah. And I won't know that. I need you guys to know that listening in the story. I don't know that yet. Kevin in 2017 June does not know this. But somebody has such a problem with that that they have decided to reach out to the company via customer service. Guys, if I haven't said it enough, I will say it again. You want something to get attention? Customer service. You want Lego to do something or listen to you? Customer service. I wrote an entire 2-page spread in Brick Fanatics magazine about the power of Lego customer service. You don't even know. You don't even know. When you call and complain, like you go into a Lego store and you're like, wow, these floors are like literally disgusting. I know I had a fan call me and say, these floors are like, Kevin, I'm not overreacting. They're black. I got a photo to my phone and I said, you should call customer service. And he goes, shouldn't I like call the store manager? I'm like, nope, you should call customer service. He called customer service, said, look, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the fire. The floors are really gross. They're black. I don't know what's going on. Here's a photograph. 24 hours later, somebody came out. Floors were stripped and waxed. And the district manager had called the store manager saying, why would you have let your floors get to this state? Then the store manager called my friend and said, I'm so sorry you had that experience in our store. I'm like, if you had called the store manager, it would have never gotten fixed.
Nope.
Customer service. That's the power. So that person at Brick World Chicago, I still to this day don't know who it was. I don't necessarily care to know who it was. Decided they were going to call and file an official complaint against me and told the Lego company that I was creating a conflict of interest with my employer by drawing funny cartoons at home. Keep in mind, as we discussed in our Bricks in the Middle episode, when the comic launched, it was 100% non-commercial. There was not a single penny coming out of that. It was Kevin. Kevin is finally feeling like he's a little bit disconnected from the community. I can kind of get some therapy out. I can get back to drawing again while I'm working 9 to 5 or whatever at the office. Come home and doodle, draw, make some comics, and kind of empty my brain of 5 years of working with a fanatical fan base. I loved it. It was exactly what I needed. Mm-hmm. And so, but apparently to other people, that was inappropriate. That was inappropriate, and I should not have done that. Right. And so, obviously, as I stated, Matthew was at the show, and he was actively promoting it. Like he was giving out free stuff and talking about the comic, because that was our agreement. When he was going to be there and I was going to be in Connecticut, that was our agreement. And again, this is me. This is not manager to fan. This is friend to friend outside of work. That's what this is. And I had, for my entire duration of working for Lego, been crystal clear in where the line is between on the clock and off the clock. And what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Anyone who's worked with me, anyone who's like even in my local lug in Connecticut can tell you through my entire time, my entire career, all 12 years, mm-hmm. there was never a time where people are like, I don't know. I mean, which Kevin are we talking to right now? Like, I was always professional. I was always on. I knew where the line was. I knew when to step over it and when not to step over it. For sure. I knew what I was doing.
Absolutely.
And so somebody filed that complaint. That was another, again, for you guys listening to the story, listening to this, you need to know that's another nail in the Hinkle coffin that is coming down, unbeknownst to me. Unbeknownst to me. But on the other side of this is demand shaping, resulting in a 2% decline in profit. And so we did go to a town hall meeting, and we were told by leadership that we have finally plateaued, right? Sales have finally plateaued. We were on the brink of bankruptcy, and we were saved, and we had whatever it was, 11 straight years of double-digit growth. And we have finally stopped, and we have finally plateaued. So clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, the reason is because of all you guys, because of everything you're doing, all the employees, the workforce. You guys are clearly doing too much. You're not focused. So we need to take a hard look at our workforce. We're not going to say that anyone's going to be let go, but you're probably going to get let go. So that was now so something I was acutely aware of. As I mentioned, I'm not aware that people apparently have a problem with me drawing things, but I am aware that my company is about to go through several months of up until now, up until 2020, COVID-19 global pandemic. The 4 or 5 months that Lego was going through the audit of who to lay off, that was the most stressful I'd ever felt in my entire life. That's now nothing. This is now the most stressful thing I've ever felt. But that then, I remember going entire days without eating because of my stomach. I couldn't. I was like sick to my stomach. Yeah. I was so stressed. And we're going to talk all about that next time.
All right.
But there's two really important things. There is the company saying we're now going to evaluate everything you guys are doing, and we're going to make a hard decision because some of you guys need to go. And then there's Kevin is on his own, at home, private life. Kevin is trying to finally settle back into who he was before he was a community manager, and apparently is catching the attention of people and not in a good way.
Folks, let me get one of y'all to write down in the comments exactly where we left off.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're gonna forget.
Oh, of course I'm gonna forget.
Oh, maybe I'll forget.
I think you're too. Maybe. This is the big stuff, though, folks. This is the big stuff.
It's the end.
Is it?
It's the end.
I don't know.
It's the last year. I mean, there's still other little like things, and I am certain without a shadow of a doubt when we started this program, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to like pull the rug off of these things and tell them about it. But like time does heal. Time heals things, and I'm like, do I want to do that? I don't know. I mean, I know you always want. I'm like, yeah.
Here's the thing: it can be a decent enough company and an absolute juggernaut with its quality of product.
Yeah.
And I'll still buy it, but I'm not in love with Lego, the company, like I once was.
Right.
I say that over and over again. Sorry.
And there are other. There's not many, but there are a couple other colleagues that I have. Some still at Lego, some not.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, though, say I should not be doing this podcast.
Oh, of course.
So they're like, Kevin, I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know why you're doing it, but just be careful. What is
Lego going to do to you now? Take your Lego away from you? No.
That's what keeps me. I'm like, well, I mean, what are you going to do?
Are you the friends that are still there? Are they afraid that they're going to get thrown in the bus by you by accident?
No, I think it's just no, I don't think so. I think it's
Go ahead.
I think it's people that have. I mean, I know a lot of people, both current and past, that have also had really, really, again, pardon my French, shitty experiences there. Things that have been really stuff that we start getting in the realm of legal action. Like a company should not be doing that, but they also wouldn't dare put it out on the internet. They wouldn't put.
They should. We should know.
We should know. So, but
there's some hard-hitting journalism for you, folks.
This is one of these days, right? The real. It's just like I said, they make really good stuff. They make a wonderful product. I really love the community. I love the hobby. The company does things, they do questionable things like a lot of companies do. I, like a lot of you, just want them to do better. I want them to be better than these other companies. I don't know if that's realistic, if that's wishful thinking. I mean, I was there. I was in the belly of the beast. I was talking to CEOs and CMOs and owner, and I couldn't do anything. So it's like it is what it is. But there we are.
Mm-hmm. So next week, Tiger King Joe Exotic will be on the show, folks.
Special guest, and he will be right over there with Julian in Florida.
No, he's from Oklahoma, I think. He's in prison now.
He will be visiting you. Via screen.
There you go. Yeah, he'll tell us everything.
Nice. Everybody, thanks for
listening. Be here. No, sorry.
Thanks for listening. As always, if you got questions, throw them in the comments. We'll read them next time.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Stay well.
Yeah.
Glinch.
I'm Brick Smith.
And I'm Gorm.
From all of us here at Forever Sorting, thanks for watching, and remember,
you gotta clinch those bricks.
You gotta what?